Stahls, a global company with a humble heritage. Stahls has been a family-owned and operated company since 1932. It all began in 1932 in the heart of Detroit by Arthur Carl and Ethel Stahl. Arthur was known to most as AC. Born in Detroit in 1886, times in America were much different from today. With only a fifth-grade education and knowing only the German language until he was in his teens, A.C. Stahl got by any way he could. About himself, A.C. wrote, "Mediocre in accomplishments, but persistent, very erratic in business, having had over 60 means of livelihood in 35 years, but never unoccupied over 1 week at a time." Some of A.C.'s livelihood consisted of giving banjo and guitar lessons, operating his own trucking business, and having his own repair shop. He even produced a genealogy book that he sold through Hudson's department store. In the 1920s, one of the significant businesses A.C. started was the Peter Pan Manufacturing Company in Marine City, Michigan. Here he and his staff produced and sold model boats. Like many businesses back then, it fell victim to the Depression, and he lost everything, his business and their home. Resilient as he was, A.C. quickly moved on and worked for the American Flag and Banner Company, where he made beanies. His experience with felt triggered his next business venture, commercial art products. A.C. and Ethel Stahl started Commercial Art Products in 1932. It began as a small family-run lettering and imprinting business in Detroit, with their 3 children, Ernest, Helen, and Gertrude. It is a tribute to their indomitable spirit and astute business sense that they were able to overcome this adversity and build commercial art products into a resounding success during the darkest economic times in America's history. Commercial Art Products prospered by providing its customers with virtually any type of lettering or imprinting they demanded. Screen printing, hand-sewn lettering, embroidery, chenille, and sign printing. If a product didn't exist to fill the customer's needs, the ingenious A.C. Stahl invented one. He invented the first heat-applied lettering. Legend has it that A.C. Stahl invented heat-applied lettering after getting tired of being told by uniform customers that he was making mistakes spelling their names. When the first batch of heat seal letters came off the press, he reportedly exclaimed, "Now we can just give them the letters and let them make their own mistakes." In 1936, Ernie Stahl, A.C.'s only son, met Ricky Hodder. The two married 3 years later. In 1942, they also began their family and ultimately had 3 sons, Ted, Brian, and Craig. In 1944, Ernie joined the Marine Corps and was deployed to the Pacific. Ernie's role utilized the talents he gained from the family business. He took a job repairing cloth that was put on the movable flaps on a plane's wings. Rather than hand sewing, which he was most familiar with, he found that by using a sewing machine, he could repair faster and get the planes back into the air. As a result, most planes were sent to Ernie's repair station. It is here in the service where Ernie honed his entrepreneurial skills. On the side, he shortened officers' trousers to shorts and used the excess material to make bags and extra-large bills on caps to shield military personnel from the sun. His service was so popular that he was able to charge his comrades for his services. While Ernie was away, Ricky had to make ends meet the best she could. It was difficult for her to be a mother and be separated from her husband. Having little money, she took in a tenant to help pay the rent. Ricky also played the role of both mother and father. It was during this time that her father-in-law, A.C., approached Ricky to become involved with the family business. She was asked by A.C. to help with hand-cutting felt and other embroidery projects. Ricky recalls,
"The war was on, and you couldn't get any material at all. All we got was the scraps from the felt company. They were using the material to make linings for the soldiers' shoes. There just wasn't any, and so the scraps that we got were mostly green and maroon. When we got into cutting letters, they were mostly green and maroon."
Ricky got the most out of her materials. Today we call the technique nesting.
Every day was something special. I'm glad I don't have to go through it again though.
By the time the imprinting industry had become more specialized, new markets had evolved. Now each of the second-generation Stahls decided to concentrate on a different niche of the business. Helen Stahl Hart carried on the screen printing and began Hart Processing in Marine City, Michigan. Gertrude Stahl Baldock took on the embroidery and chenille aspect. She named her company Service Emblem of Detroit. A concerned Ricky then asked AC what would be left for Ernie upon his return from the war. AC said not to worry. He then asked her what she thought about offering customers the pre-cut lettering and number product. Ricky agreed it was a good idea and took on the challenge. In 1945, they placed an ad in Sporting Goods Dealer magazine. Many customers resulted from this ad, and excitedly they had more business than they were ready for. In 1946, upon his return from the service, Ernie Stahl and his family moved into their new home on Frasehoe in Roseville, Michigan. The home also provided an ideal production facility. A large garage served as their new business location that they called the Stahl Felt Stamping Company. They specialized in die-cut, heat-applied lettering and numbers for athletic teams and sporting goods stores. Simply because they were business owners didn't mean they were guaranteed an easy or comfortable lifestyle. There were times when the family only made a profit of 37 cents for a week's worth of hard work.
We didn't know that much about gardening except that we knew we wanted to be able to eat, and my family must have gotten tired of zucchini. I know I had. I deep fried it, I used it like meat, and that's what we lived on was really zucchini, eggplant, and tomatoes.
In spite of the economic times, the family business continued to push on through perseverance and a strong family work ethic. During these years, Ernie, the innovator, launched many successful new products, while also improving production processes. Ernie invented a custom script word, cut in multi-layers, while using a bandsaw knife technology that had not been used in the past. As a result of their hard work, the business prospered enough to move to a new location in 1966. The location chosen was in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, and the company now employed approximately 15 people. In 1976, Ted and Brian Stahl bought the family business from their parents. Over the course of the next 25 years, the brothers successfully launched over 100 new products, including the first film and flock materials with polyester adhesives, the revolutionary Hottronics line of heat presses, CAD-CUT technology for the imprinted apparel industry that allowed users to produce in-house, on-demand custom lettering and graphics for heat application, and the time-saving CAD-CUT player names, to name just a few. In addition, during this time, they gained relationships and contracts with notable retail garment manufacturers and various major league sports associations. The brothers were also innovators in new production methods. Water jet cutting technology, as we know it today, was greatly influenced by the creative vision and efforts of Craig Stahl. As Stahls moves into the future, it will continue to grow as an industry leader and innovator. From humble beginnings to a truly global company, Stahls has not lost its roots and family values. What began as a two-person operation has grown to employ over 600 people worldwide and is still a family-owned and operated business. Many people who have joined the company while still in school are still part of the Stahls family today. It all began with the vision and strong foundation built by A.C. Stahl and has carried on through the generations.
I never dreamt that anything like this would be, and yet I have helped to make it that way.